Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends. Today's video is more of a lot of advice and a lot of gyan from my end to you, because today we are going to talk about ways to sharpen your people skill. And there are a lot of ways, but the major 7 ways to sharpen your people skill is something that I'm going to help you out with. Let's see what we have when we talk about sharpening people skills. What do we really mean by sharpening people skills? So the last video that you have seen is of improving people skill at workplace. Now we are talking about sharpening those people skills. Friends, I would want to share Abraham Lincoln's quote with you, where he says that if I am given 6 hours in a day for an effect or an impact to happen, or a tree to get cut, I would rather sharpen the axe for 4 hours and then implement it on the tree for the next 2 hours, which would help my work to actually get over less than 2 hours. What we really mean by those quotes is that I get a lot of inspired from this, and I really practice this, is unless and until we do not understand how well can we groom ourselves or sharpen ourselves in certain skills, it is very difficult to implement it in a very short period of time. It might take a very long time. So if we want something to impact, or if we want something to get into action in a very less given point of time, I think it's better to understand how best can you sharpen your skills and then get along with your skills to complete that given task. So today I'm going to discuss certain 7 ways to sharpen your people skill. Let's first understand what we really mean by sharpening people skill. Sharpening your people skill can help you maintain relationship and further your career. So this is something which, as a person, you would be a person who could maintain the relationships very well, and also a person who could take your career at a very high level. Find how emotional intelligence and self-awareness improve communication and boost your confidence. Now here we are going to talk about something which is new, which is not only improving communication skills but also emotional intelligence and self-awareness. These are 2 things I think if we do not lack, I think we will be at a different level. So first is our emotional intelligence. Many times we are on the right path, doing the right thing, but then what happens is we emotionally are not sound. And we do not use our emotional intelligence, which is called EQ, to help us grow in a certain format. So this is a very useful weapon which we need to sharpen, which is our emotional intelligence. We need to know how best can we behave at a particular given point of time, even at the worstest given point of time. So something that is emotional, something like an emotional breakdown, is something that we need to understand that, oh, I need to get out of my emotional breakdown now. Something happened at home in the morning, I come to the office with that complete different and upset attitude. When I come to the office, I'm already in a very negative attitude, which is, the blunder that happened at home. And then the entire day I drag just because I have to be at work, and I'm just continuously thinking about that, and my entire day is now further negative. Definitely by the time I go home, I'm further negative because I'm going back to the same place. But imagine if a person is emotionally sound and intelligent, of something happened at home, you come on the way, you practice and listen to some inspiring videos while you're traveling to the office, practice the laughter therapy, have a smile on your face even if you do not feel like smiling, read certain inspiring and motivational books, read a positivity book. I always suggest to read a book which is called The Secret, which is like a self-help book which helps you actually to get from the worst situation to the best. And it is really miraculous. I have read it myself, I have practiced it myself. I think it makes a lot of difference. So all 3 forms of The Secret, which is the magic, the power, I think you can didn't read those books. So read certain things which will make you feel happy and motivated again. So by the time you reach office, you have actually lost your touch with the negativity happened at home, and now you're a completely different person when you come to the office, a better, calm, settled person. In fact, a thank giving person, that because of the work, it gave you that option of shifting from that negativity to a positive environment. And then it is in your hand how to take the positivity going for the entire day. So friends, I feel it's very important to be emotionally sound and emotionally intelligent, and this is one major weapon which I feel you need to sharpen every day, whenever you get a chance to get into a better form of people skills. The second most important weapon is self-awareness to improve your communication. So this is something where we need to focus and sharpen more than before. Even we understand how to be better on communication, I think first you need to understand how aware you need to be about your communication. So, and awareness is very important. A self-awareness is very important. Someone who comes and tells you that you mumble or you fumble or whatever, you would say, really? I don't think so. What crap, you're talking rubbish. This should not be the attitude, because if there is something that has been noticed by someone, I think that is the point for you to understand that yes, now I need to get into a better way of communicating. Because if someone could notice this, I think yes, self-awareness is very important. And now since I am aware, it's easy for me to translate myself from that position to a better position. So a self-awareness is very, very important. Which would then, these two things put together, these two weapons if sharpened, this would definitely boost your confidence. Your confidence would be very high since you're an emotionally sound person and you're an amazing communicator and with an awareness of communication. So I'm sure that your confidence would go very high. I think around 85% of people cannot do certain things because of the lack of confidence. And the lack of confidence doesn't come by working towards it. It comes through different aspects connected to different skills connected to your personality, which helps you to grow and become a very, very confident and very positive person. So start practicing things which would help to boost your personality, which would help to boost your confidence. Indirectly, your personality would definitely, it will show an immense difference to your personality. Life would be great if everybody got along and agreed on everything. I really sometimes feel like laughing that it's, it would be so easy that you go and tell something to some people and they just agree on your point. And they don't have any point of argument or discussion over it. So just imagine you go to a place, suddenly have your views and opinions in, and you're all accepted. How lazy would you become that you would hardly communicate then? So it's very important for us to get into a discussion, to get into a conclusion, and then get the work sorted. I would love to do that rather than just going and saying my opinion, saying, yes, we did it, tick. So friends, it's very important to understand that it's not easy that everyone would just get along and agree to whatever you say. But what is not the world we live in? We do not live in a world like this. To get along in the real world, we need people skills and more. We need a lot more skills to get our point agreed. Whether to maintain relationships at home or at work, you need to know how to listen, how to make wishes known, and also how to resolve differences without conflicts. These are different skill sets that we've been talking all the time, where we really need to practice them, because at the end of the day, we need to be a people's person, because we are not aliens. We live amongst the people and not amongst the animals also. So this is what I say by sharpening your skills. There are several strategies you can practice to improve your people skills in dealing with different personalities and challenging situations, and boost your confidence level for the progress. So let's see what exact 7 ways are there to sharpen your people skills. So I hope you've got an idea of what we really mean by sharpening your skills up. And let's focus on all the 7 aspects of how you can sharpen your people skills very well, very well. I thought these were very important to jot them down and to put it in front of you. Develop your emotional intelligence. Number one, that's the first and foremost thing. Emotional intelligence allows you to be aware of and in charge of your emotions. You are only in charge of your emotions. No one else can take charge of your emotions. So it gives you an awareness that yes, it gives you a trigger that yes, now you are emotionally not sound, and please take charge of your emotions. Sharpening your emotional intelligence can help you to keep your emotions balanced and boost your confidence. We are definitely going to talk a lot on a different chapter itself, which is called emotional intelligence. And I will definitely help you to understand how majorly can you get out of your emotional situations, bad situations, and come into a very positive aura. So this would be, we would do it sometimes, some other times. Right now, yes, always remember this is the major tool which you can sharpen for getting into people skills. To help you or give you an example, let us discuss some strategies which would help you to develop your emotional intelligence. Number one, learn to become more aware of your emotions and responses of certain situations. So there are a lot of situations that you might face in life. There are a lot of responses towards the situation. There are a lot of emotional drawbacks, and where the awareness is always there, and a lot of drawbacks. Only one thing is we have to learn how to get out of this situation. So awareness is the foundation skill along the path of improved interpersonal skills. Explains Tress Roder. So Tress Roder, who's the founder and president of Roder Counseling in Cleveland. I follow his quotes and I follow his learnings and preachings a lot. I've read a lot about his written books. So if you also go on the net and if you could research of Tress Roder, I think he is he is the founder and president of Roder Consulting in Cleveland. He always says that it's very important to have a self-awareness, as it is a foundation skill. It is like a base. It builds up, like before building the constructing a building. It's very important to have a very strong base. So awareness is a kind of a foundation or a very strong base of everyone's personality for improving the interpersonal skills. First of all, we have to be aware of such a thing, and we need to start practicing on it. Second is keep your emotions in balance. We not only have to be aware but also help ourselves to keep our emotional balanced in order to be in rhythm with others. So whenever you're in rhythm with others, you have to be in rhythm with yourself as well. It's not like only others you are aware of and you're not aware of anything to do with yourself. So this is a very important note stated by Debbie Mandel, who deals and is a specialist in stress management. And this is one of the book that I read, and I also follow her a lot, and I also follow Debbie a lot. And this is a book which is called Addicted to Stress. So someone who's going through a lot of stress issues or stress management, I think this is something that you can read also. And these are some people, very inspirational people and motivational souls that I really follow, because at the end of the day, even I need self-help. So these are some very good books that you can actually read. Third, recognize when you or others are stressed. So first of all, it's not only awareness of your emotions. Second is balance it as well. And third is recognize when other people are going through a bad situation. When it comes to dealing with difficult situations, keep in mind that proper timing can lead to better outcome. If you or other people are stressed, you will lose common grounds. Again, advised by Mandel. So it's very important, friends, that we need to understand when and where to start a conversation, what to talk where, how to deal with people's emotions, how to deal with the stress issues that they have, because that will help you to be on common grounds, and you might, help others to get into positive atmosphere again, or positive attitude again. But if the timings are wrong and if you do not put it right at the right time, I think that's something which would hamper not only your relationship but also you personally. You would also get demotivated a lot. So I think these are very strong strategies that you need to understand if you have to be emotionally sound, what all you need to deal with. As I told you, we will also have a video only which will talk on emotional intelligence some other given point of time. But as of now, I feel this is very important for us to understand because these are the major tools to sharpen for getting into good people skill. The second way to sharpen your people skill is resolve conflict in a positive way and not a negative way. So there are two ways of resolving a conflict. Whenever you have a conflict anywhere in your work environment or anywhere, there are two different things that people do. End a conflict with a horrible fight and argument and get it sorted. So it's a win or a lose situation, lose-win situation kind of. But we are not talking of resolving conflicts that way. We are talking of resolving conflicts on a very, very positive note, which is a win-win situation for both of us. It has to be a person who resolves conflicts has to be an amazing negotiation skills person whose negotiation skills are fantastic. So let's see what we can do in this is, be it at work or at home, a certain amount of conflicts is avoidable in any relationship. The main motto or the main mantra to actually not get into conflict is avoid. Try these three ways to improve your people skills and resolve conflict in a positive way. So again, we have 3 steps or 3 advice from my end to you to help you resolve conflict. Focus on the present. So holding on to old hurts or grudges make it hard to move forward and build a better future. So if you've seen, whenever you have a fight and you actually do not talk on that topic, you move to the back, whatever happened in the past, and you then push everything back in that conversation. And you make it a point that you always hurt someone else by giving him a reminder of what bad did happen between y'all. That's something which ruins their relationship. It doesn't build a foundation, that's like out of question, but it crushes the entire wall down. So you've already constructed a building over a very strong base, and now what you're doing is you're actually shaking the base. Imagine what happens. The building comes down crushing. So I think we should avoid getting back to your olden hurts or old wounds that you have, which you've already passed ahead and you've come ahead in life. That's one thing which you should not never hold on to your back. Always focus on your present. Second most important way is think about respecting the other people, not controlling them. So many of us, we do this. Instead of thinking that how can I control this person so that I get what I want, we get into a very, very different kind of conflict, which then is like, a situation where that person starts feeling, oh my god, there's so much of control over me. Why do I really need to get into such kind of relationship? Here we majorly forget that that person needs to be respected and not controlled. So the goal is to adapt to situations and people, not impose ourselves on them. So we might have a goal and we might have a point to interact, but we cannot put it on or impose on someone. Rather than that, we would rather adapt the situation and focus on people, what we are dealing with. You can show respect to other people's opinion without agreeing for them. So it's not necessary that you have to agree to everything that that person says, but you can have a positive note towards it. You can say, okay, what you're saying is right, but I feel that it has to be this. So give respect to someone's opinion rather than saying, no, what you're saying is wrong. It's not necessary always that you need to agree on someone else's opinion, but you can definitely respect other people's opinion rather than just insulting someone. That's a very negative note of personality a personality trait that you follow. So I think this is the second most important point to get into conflict resolution, which is think about respecting others rather than controlling them. The third is focus on compromise rather than winning or losing. Whenever we have an argument or whenever we have two different opinions to put up, what we start doing is we start thinking about, oh, if I take the opinion, I will lose and he will win. So instead of getting in a win or lose situation, we should understand that what we need here is compromise. Many a times, if we show a compromising attitude, there are always a times that we give us open space for that person to understand that now it is that person's turn to compromise to us and not ours all the time. So always have an open window to compromising where everyone would fit in it. There would never be a lose and a win situation. It would always be a win-win situation if you compromise on certain parameters. So in a constructive conflict, the goal is to aim of an equitable compromise. So, an equitable compromise is something that should be the goal, and there should be no winner or no loser. So, we do not get into arguments to understand whether there is a winner or a loser. We get into the argument to understanding that there is a goal which we need to compromise on, which is very important for every individual to understand. So, I am sure you must have seen a lot of debates happening on the news channels. The debates happen, the main reason for debates to come on the news channel is to get in a lot of open window for different kinds of opinions from different people so that we can work in a better way, because instead of one having one opinion, we can have 10 different opinions and then understand which is the best out of it. But unfortunately, people end up fighting, getting into a win or a lose situation at those kind of level, which is so professional and so up to the mark, that people actually end up thinking that, oh my god, if I compromise, I lose. This is a very horrifying situation where people go through. And I think it's high time for us to understand and to get out of those situations and get into better understanding and compromising scales and levels. I think nothing helps ourselves to get into a better position than helping others to get into better positions for themselves. So, three strategies or three major aspects that we need to focus if we want to have a conflict resolved in a very positive way. Number one, focus on the present. Number two, think about respecting others and not controlling others. Number three, focus on compromise rather than winning or losing. Let's see what is the third way to sharpen your people skill. Learn to listen to others. So now comes the listening skills part. So the third and the major way that you can sharpen yourself for the best people skill is definitely learn to listen to others. Talking is simple. Real communication requires good listening skills. Talking, I talk whole day, but I really listen very well? Am I very good at listening? Am I an active listener? Is very important. Practice certain tips from my end. I'm giving you certain tips to become an active listener. Pay attention in inflections. So, research shows that vast majority of communication occurs at a non-verbal level. So many a times you would see that non-verbal communication helps us to communicate really well. I told you last time also the game of damsharas. People play damsharas and they take it like a game. I take it like a learning. That someone who cannot really talk and is zipped, the mouth is zipped, where he just needs to do certain actions and show any particular task or a name of a movie or whatever. And that person, the people around guess with his gestures and postures and his expressions and all the different kinds of body language, the exact meaning of what he's saying. So this is, I think, a very learning game, which helps you to learn a lot of things. So I think vast majority of us understand non-verbal communication clues very well. Pay attention to not only what people are saying, but also what are they not saying. So many a times we just listen to people what they say, but we actually do not focus on their non-verbal communication. I think it is a high time for us to now start focusing on their non-verbal communications as well. There are a lot of expressions that they put up while communicating, even if they're not saying a particular point of thing. So you're not only an active listener just by listening, you're also an active listener even by focusing and practicing non-verbal communication clues. The second tip I would give you to be an active listener would be take time to really listen before you respond. Now, since you know now what that person is talking, you've heard him, you've listened to him, you've also understood the non-verbal clues, but take your time to really now start into communication by responding to what he is said. So when others are speaking instead of actually listening to them, many people are concentrating on what they plan to say next. Many people do that. They get judgmental and they try to understand, okay, now what next will come after this dialogue. So don't get into that. I think that getting into that is a very it will lead you to a misconception of listening. And doing this would not help you to focus on the current communication, but would encourage you to move on what next, which might be just assumptions. Might it not is not necessary that person would just speak what you really think. So let's not assume things. Doing this can cause you to miss key elements of other people's points and results in lack of true communication. Your assumptions definitely would not be true communication. Take the time to be patient and simply listen before launching into one of your viewpoint. So, cool, relax, take time, first listen properly and then get into a responding attitude. The next tip from my end to be an active listener would also be don't interrupt. Very important. Many people have the habit of interrupting someone before even that person finishes his entire sentence or comment. Don't do that. Wait. Do not interrupt. Wait until that person finishes. This will also help you to develop your patience. So let the other person speak without interrupting. Focusing on what the other person is saying and making eye contact helps us truly understand what is the actual meaning of that comment or sentence is just made. So use your body language, use your listening skills, use your communication skills, use various skills, soft skills to help you be a better person when in terms of your listening skills. So I think the listening skills is a real major way to sharpen your people skills. Let's see the fourth way to sharpen your people skills. Ask for feedback. Very important. After understanding everything, responding, listening and all that, I think feedback is very important. As I always say, there is a scope of improvement with a feedback. A positive feedback would definitely motivate you, but a negative feedback would help you be a better person, improve on your mistakes that you've done, or not necessarily mistakes, but improve on whatever you could do the best. It shows that you have an ability to do something great. That's the reason someone is expecting from you. So now we have a chance to prove ourselves and chance of improvement. Since someone has given us a feedback, I'm sure that that person is not wrong. When you take a moment to ask for feedback, you communicate better and you're more likely to hear and share ideas. So people also come to know that you're open to their ideas and views and you're open to sharing as well. So of course, their attitude looking towards you is way different. Understand why feedback is important. So I would just help you out with certain advice of why feedback is important. No one likes to be preached to. People don't want to feel like they are hearing a lecture. Many a times when you just keep on talking, we feel that I'm giving a lecture and I really don't want to listen to lectures. By asking feedbacks and other people's opinions on the matter, you show that you're willing to hear, explore other people's viewpoints. So it's very important. It gives a very strong personality, your attitude as a personality that yes, you are open to viewpoints of others as well. So it is not like you're keeping your information to yourself and like a lecture you're just putting it out, but it also gives a different feeling to all the other people that yes, you're open to suggestions, you're open to opinions, you're open to other viewpoints, which makes you indirectly a very, very positive person. The next major understanding of feedback, which is very important, is interruption counts. So when we spoke about interruption the last time, we spoke about negative interruptions, like interrupting someone in a negative way, where we do not allow that person to complete the conversation. But this interruption that I'm talking about is a positive interruptions, which involve a lot of probing for good, which is probing in terms of closed-ended questions and also open-ended questions. Now, if you've seen my video, or if you've not seen, you can definitely see my video, which focuses on probing. which will give you an idea what you exactly mean by probing and open and close-ended questioning. So this is something which again helps your communication to get into a very positive attitude of interruptions being the positive part. How? Let's discuss in detail. So when one person says and the other person hears, it's not necessary it's that it is the way we think. It's often two stringing different things. So someone listening to something and someone speaking something, not necessarily it's going the same way. It's way different. Taking time to ask feedback such as, do you understand what I mean? Or you could also say, how would you handle this situation if you would be in this place? So this is a good way to see if your communication is effective. So by asking such questions or by probing such questions, you again help the audience to get back to your point of view. It helps everyone to get back to understand, oh, okay, so there was a different thing that was going on, but no, now I know what's happening. So probing is a very, very important and a very strong weapon when it comes to people skills. It should not be an interruption, but it should be a open space for a positive attitude altogether. So the third important way of understanding why feedback is maintaining a positive attitude makes understanding easier. I've always been saying this. A positive attitude and easy understanding is correlated again. Asking for feedback shows that you have confidence and positive attitude. People gravitate to positive people because good moods are contagious. So this is again a quote said by Mandel, that good moods are contagious. Whenever they see a people who's positive, these are energies around us that they pull other people to our positivity. It is like a gratitude pull that pulls all the people to the people who are very, very positive and very high on their positivity and their motivation. So this is what I feel the major three areas of understanding why feedback is important. Number one, no one likes to be preached to. Number two, interruption counts. Number three, maintaining a positive attitude makes understanding easy. Now, this was the fourth tool for sharpening your people skill, which was ask a feedback. Let's see the fifth way to sharpen your people skill. The fifth way is respect and be aware of cultural differences. Now, we work in an area or we work in an atmosphere and an environment which has a lot of different people around us. And these different people follow different cultures altogether. We are from different cultures. We have different backgrounds. We are born and brought up in different ways. We have we have different backgrounds of our own. Coming up, we have different situations where we have grown up. So these are all the different aspects of reality where different sorts of people work along with us. We learn most of our people skills from our parents and in others in our community. So definitely everyone that follows someone is the parent. So everyone is born and brought up in the same way the parent has born and brought up in, and then they follow the lead. And everyone in that community also makes a lot of difference because they are the same set of people with the same kind of background that we grow with. When communicating with someone from a different culture, however, it is important to acknowledge cultural differences. Now, many a times, like me as an individual, if born and brought up in one particular manner, there will be someone else, a friend of mine or a colleague of mine working in my workplace who would be born and brought up in a very different way and a different manner. We need to understand, first of all, that there has to be differences in cultures, and there are differences in cultures. If we understand this and if we are aware, the main mantra is being aware. So if we are aware of these differences, it helps us to cope up ourselves with these kind of differences. Let's see what different approaches can we see or can we practice to ease our communication. Number one, understand eye contact. So even before anyone speaks, your eyes speak a lot. So there are a lot of songs which you have heard which says that eyes speaks a lot. So this is something which I feel is very important to understand, what exact eye contact do we need to have with people. So in our culture, direct eye contact often indicates sincerity, while in another culture it could be considered rude. So many a times we look into people's eyes to see, to make that people feel that we are very sincere, but many a times looking into someone's eyes would, maybe in some other culture, would think that, oh my god, she's so rude, she's looking straight into my eyes. So we need to understand what are the differences in culture. I think in the walk of our lives, or so many years of our communication, so many years of upbringing, whatever, I think it makes it easy. It doesn't sound that difficult. It makes it really easy to understand other people level differences, especially when we talk about eye contact. The second most approach is expect some misunderstanding. You always have to be aware, and you have to expect that yes, when we try to communicate certain things with some different cultural people, there can be misunderstandings, which will indirectly help you to get your misunderstanding resolved. In cross-cultural communication, it is best to go slow and step back instead of getting frustrated. So one step back instead of getting frustrated, slow instead of running ahead. In our culture, we like to get to the point. I am a person also who gets to the point. In other cultures, it might be important to establish a rapport before discussing the potentially conversational issues. So we are taught to talk straightforward and direct, but many other cultures might preach differently. That first you create a rapport around that person. After understanding and getting into the direct conversational part of it, you first understand how that person is and get into a rapport of communication, and only then try to put up your potentiality to communicate. Keeping these differences in mind can minimize your frustration in if and when you encounter any snags in communication. So it's very important, friends, that if you have this understanding that this might have gone wrong this way, it will be better, and it would help you to get out of those misunderstanding situations. The third most approach would be get some help. It's very important to ask for help at times where you are really misunderstood. So to foster improved communication, it can be helpful to reply to an intermediary who would understand both the cultures. So someone who could, like an interpreter. So if you've seen certain news channels, or if you see some channels where the entire conversation is translated and put up in a different language, or if you've seen the blind communication also, I don't know how, I have not seen it lately, but before some years, the news channels that used to give the news, and it was specially for the people who cannot hear. So there used to be a lady at the on the top of the screen somewhere, where she used to do the continuous communication with the use of her hand movements, and for the people who cannot hear. So she was like an interpreter to translate of what the communication is to the viewers. The same way, there are a lot of different language translators also which are available nowadays on Google, as it is our best friend, I always say. So there are a lot of translations on Google also, from translating to one language to another. Find a translator for yourself. I think you should ask for help, and he would help you translate from one culture to another, which would be easy for people to understand you and others in a better way. The sixth way to sharpen your people skills is seek out new people. What do we mean by this? Let's see. Meeting new people can enhance your creativity, help broaden your perspectives in life, and improve your emotional intelligence. The more you meet different sorts of people, different kinds of people, different people with different attitudes, the more you would help yourself to get into a better person with a lot of creativity, with a lot of balance of emotional intelligence, and with also a lot of different ways to look at your life at. Some tips that I would like to give you while you meet new people is use your body language. So pay attention to all the non-verbal communication clues, such as postures, gestures, eye contact, smile, friendly gesture, approach, everything. It will help you to interact in a better way to every new person that you meet. The other is listen up. So again, the same thing I'm repeating because I think that's very essential for people skill. Reply on good communication and listening skills. Truly get to know people by allowing them to express themselves without immediately interrupting with your ideas in while they are communicating. Be aware of the situation around you. So never neglect what situation are you in. That includes awareness of yourself, awareness of others, and awareness of the situational context within which the relationship is occurring. So, three things to take care whenever you are in a situation. First of all, be aware of the situation, which indirectly means be aware of yourself, be aware of the other people's thoughts and ideas, and of course, be aware of the situation, which will help you to get into a better situation. Keeping external factors in mind, such as potential stressors and distractions, can make it easier to help you navigate new situations with people you don't know very well. So, when you don't know a person very well, when you do not understand what that person really is like, but keeping yourself cool, having an external factor, understanding what the stress factors are when you meet someone new, all these awareness would help you to easily navigate through different people by your communication. So again, three major areas of how to seek out on different people is use your body language, listen up, and be aware of the situation around you, which would indirectly help you to sharpen the sixth tool, which is seek out of new people. The seventh major way of sharpening your people skill is maintain a relationship. Finally, everything ends up on a relationship. So the more you are outgoing, the more you can maintain a relationship, the more you can be better heard, the more you can be always going through a part of a person's life. So someone who can interact with you very well will remember you all the time. So how would you maintain relationships? Let's see how it goes. Healthy relationships boost your confidence, of course, and make your life more rewardable. The more you meet people, the more relations you make, the more confident you feel, and the more appreciation that you get from everyone. Here are some final thoughts on people skills that promote good relationships. Let's see what all thoughts will promote good relationships. Number one, take the time to be aware of the important people and relationships in their life. Take your time out. Understand, be aware of the important people in your life. Understand the relationship of them in your life. Understanding these things will help you to be in a better relationship situation and to all the people that you communicate to. If you're constantly running from one meeting to another or one meeting to the next, you may be missing important clues in the flow to get along with others. So whenever you're running very fast in your walk of life and you're meeting every person so quickly and so fast, it's very important to understand, friends, that you're in the constant rat race. You do not forget to understand who is really important to you and which relation would take you to what level. So we all are in a rat race, we all are running very fast towards our success, but we should not forget our people, because at the end of the day, it's relationship that counts, whether it's professional or personal. The second major way of promoting good relationships is in order to respect others, you must respect yourself. Many a times it happens that we actually lose respect of ourselves because we treat our others really high. So it should not happen vice versa as well. It should be stable in a one systematic format that we both should respect both the viewpoints, us and others as well. Self-respect means knowing what you uniquely bring onto the table. You should know you are the person who is bringing a unique point to the table, so definitely it has to be respected. When you feel good about yourself, you will be positive and affirmative to others. If you are not positive yourself, you cannot make a difference to others anyway. So first, learn to respect your views and be positive yourself. The third major thought of people skills that promote good relationships is have the right attitude. That's the most important. Your attitude should be right. The emotional intelligence needed to maintain the relationship is more than just people skills. It's not only people skills, it's everything. It's about your attitude, personality, it's about how you take it and all of it. So it's not just people skills that you need to maintain. It also involves having the right attitude, the correct thing at the correct time with the correct attitude. This includes expecting challenges along the way, keeping things in perspective, having a sense of humor, and not taking yourselves too seriously. So everything I have clubbed in now here is what we have spoken some time back is new challenges are always welcome, because without that there is no scope of improvement. Keeping things in perspective is you have to have certain things on your table. Without it is not fulfilled. Having a sense of humor, because at times, many a times, you should have a humorous attitude on your own errors for making people feel really different kind of person, out of the box kind of person for you. And definitely not taking yourself too seriously by feeling bad or feeling not really great by someone sharing their opinions or ideas on your opinions. So all these things put together will help you to have the right attitude at right place. So friends, seventh way to sharpen your people skills was maintaining relationship, for which we understood what are the different thoughts on promoting good relationships, which is number one, take the time to be aware of important people and relationships in your life. Number two, in order to respect others, you must respect yourself. Number three, have the right attitude. By this, I end up this video of 7 ways to sharpen your people skills, which is majorly important. Friends, after seeing this video, you will definitely start thinking on those parameters, and I think it will help you in the long run of your life. This is a long-term investment. So invest your time correctly. And what I would say is thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned to our channel and please subscribe to our channel as well. There is a bell icon. If you like this video, you can also press the bell icon. Thank you so much.